You call me a saint, but you know I'm a stranger, all willing and able to do what you want. You think I'm a thing.
All right, good morning, guys. Smarter Options, Ice King here. Market review and trade ideas for the rest of the week, maybe next week. Let's start with looking at. Let's just start with looking at futures, SPY futures. Okay, we'll start here. For the point of our weekly reviews, I'm going to do the 1 hour chart. Okay, so you can see here's that bullish div I mentioned last week. Market spiked, right? Then we got we got in this pattern, and we've been in this pattern. We've been getting pretty pinched up here. No surprise, right? We're heading into an event, and we're building into a wedge. See which side wins. The one thing I will mention here, though, is that you can see here we did have a bearish div form. We got a lower high with a higher high. Okay, higher high here, lower highs here, and we haven't had that on the bottom side yet. We haven't had any bullish divs form. Well, I guess that's not true. We got one right here. I take that back. Here we had a lower low with a same or a higher low type of setup here. Okay, so I guess that was a bullish div, bearish, but now we're getting pinched here. There's no real clear sign. I'm going to tell you, though, just with everything going on in the economy, I don't see this breaking to the upside. I could be wrong, but that's just initial speculation. Lots of things are trying. We're going to go over that here next year. Let's go look at VIX real quick. No surprise here also. And daily, mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned this a couple days ago. We've been forming a bullish div on the 1 hour. Okay, that's still in play. And the reason it's still in play is because it hasn't done anything yet. I mean, so here it started to turn. This is when I mentioned it the other day. I mentioned it on Monday, and we did get a little spike up. Not much, but it doesn't always. I mean, it keeps pushing lower, but we're not getting. But MACD is rising. Okay, so that means even though it was going lower, sellers were wearing out and getting tired. Or not sellers, but there's no sellers. But that's what this would imply, right? That it's getting the pushing it down is getting it weak on that side. And we're going to get an uptick. Okay, so that's the speculation here. We're on a 200 EMA. And you guys that followed me for a long time know I like 200 EMA bounces. Not with VIX, of course, but in general. Let's go start looking at some stocks real quick and just see how they look. We'll start with like Airbnb to start with the A's. We can start Apple, I guess. We're not getting much different in price, right? Price is staying pretty level here, but yet we're wearing out. So bulls are holding us up, but bulls are getting tired, which gives us the inkling that this is going to fail to the downside. Okay. If this does fail to the downside, you can expect targets. Initial targets would be, if it breaks down here, initial target down to 141. Then your second target would be here. If it hits down, then 135. Okay, maybe even a little bit lower, maybe 132. Right, you can see both these happen to land on support and resistance. Right, next one down falls right here. Airbnb looks bearish. I mean, we got bearish divs forming. We're pushing up higher, but we are not. The buyers are losing strength. Okay, so it's like I honestly think this is just a lot of people that want the market to go back up. I don't think we're going to like I said, I could be wrong, guys, but it looks like, I mean, look at down here. This is one of those indicators I shared with you guys that it's not the best, but it tries to find divs. Bearish div, bearish div, bearish hidden div, bearish hidden div on the daily chart right here. The R1 stands for hour, R2 is 4 hour, and the R3 is the daily. So once again, Airbnb looks bearish. It looks like we're going to fail. Probably go down and reattempt, 108, maybe even 104. Then we see Adobe. Monday, I showed you guys on Adobe that there was a bearish div forming, and really it's still in play. And look at this, we're sitting right along the support line. And usually when things just sit along a support line, that's not a good sign when they don't get moving up, right? But this bearish div really is still in play because our general price is going up, but we're losing strength. Okay, and this, guys, this could also be CPI data a little bit. I mean, if CPI data comes out and totally blows us away, good for that. And you could see a surge of buyers come in. What would invalidate this bearish div is if we get a new higher high and a new higher high in MACD, but we would need a big burst of strength, right? If there's anything you guys want to see, can you link the div indicator room somewhere? Yes, I can. I can do that. Yep, I'll share that with you guys. I was on one of those setups I shared already, B-Dish, but I'll share it again. Like I said, guys, this is not the perfect indicator, okay? I mean, it's an indicator, so it can't see things like you can. Like here's a hidden on the 1 hour. I don't necessarily see this as a hidden div on the 1 hour. Okay, I don't know what it's seeing right there, but it's saying it's seeing a hidden bullish div. Probably because I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that is. So anyway, so like I said, this is not a perfect indicator, but it does its best. And usually you can see here, bullish div, it worked. Hidden bearish, pulled back, hidden bullish, ran up real quick, and then the bearish div, Anyway, so it does its best. Boeing, I still think we're obviously, I mean, I showed you guys, I thought it was bearish, I think on the 4 hour. And if we look at it here now, we're pushing higher. And yeah, I'll look at shop, and we're going lower. Okay. And you can see here too, we're not getting on this bounce here. We haven't gotten back up to this top. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, we could hit this trend and we could go up, but it looks weak. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. All right. Let's go look at shop real quick. So on shop, yeah, I mean, really, we're still getting. It looks bearish to me. I mean, we keep crawling up, getting higher, got higher highs, but ultimately, I mean, here we got a little bit of a peak over. Price jumped up quite a bit more than that, though, and then it quickly turned. I mean, the leader never got above the MACD, so it shows you it wasn't really strong, a strong move either. Okay, but now we have the leaders going to cross down the MACD. MACD is curling. Right, it looks like that's gonna. What we're waiting for is that to cross the zero line to show that it's in a full downtrend. But again, yeah, it does not look good. Shopify doesn't look good. Almost nothing looks good. I didn't find anything this morning that was like bullish. Did I go over Boeing already? Yeah, Boeing's bearish. Baidu. I'm still holding my Baidu for next week. The ones I have left. I mean, I sold a bunch for profit, but right. So here was the last one I showed you guys and pushed down. Okay, But ultimately, nothing's really changed here. I mean, oops. We have a high right here, okay? And we are still getting higher highs, but not getting higher highs in strength. And this may hum a little bit higher, but ultimately I think this looks like it's gonna fail. Okay. Cat, I think I'm gonna average down on cat today. Same play. Look how, I mean, we actually pretty level here, but we had a steep climb and strength didn't really change. I mean, it keeps pushing up higher and not getting higher, not getting a lot of buying strength. Okay. I mean, we did get an EMA squeeze right here. I know you guys haven't heard me talk about that for a long time, and doing more videos now again. EMA squeeze can lead to big volatility and big moves. So here you can see it squeezed, volatility it got pushed up, and then it failed and pushed down. Here it started to squeeze again, push down until it got strength, and it's almost like to get through it requires a lot of strength, and so we get this big surge through the EMA squeeze. But kind of just like this one right here, right? It quickly fizzled out. So I plan on averaging down on my cat today. It's still got a couple weeks. Can you explain market makers being gamma short? Gamma short. What do you mean? Because gamma is you got your delta, your gamma. Your gamma is your gamma short. I don't know what I guess I'll have to research that term a little bit. I mean, so they do gamma hedging. Gamma hedging is when they buy stocks in the opposite direction of how many based on their calls and puts, so that there's a formula to it. It's very complex, but what they're doing is they're making it so there's delta hedging, which is like where you would just buy the amount of you buy a certain amount of shares to hedge your play. Delta is how much your option changes per $1 move, right? Gamma is how much your delta changes with $1 move. So gamma hedging, what that does is they do delta hedging and gamma hedging. Gamma hedging makes it so that it makes it so like it kind of makes the bell curve bigger, more flattened. So like the stock can, so like say if you just do delta hedging, if the stock moves more than $5 either way, you have to re-hedge because it's changed so much. Gamma hedging makes it so that they're hedged for a larger differential that the stock can move. I'll have to look what gamma short is. Yeah, gamma hedging is where it's a complex formula if you Google it, but gamma hedging is where they make it so that I'll send you an article on it, Vidish. Let's go down the list here. What else did I look at? Oh, Google. We took that Google short earlier this week. You can see here we're wedging pretty good. Ascending wedges usually break to the downside. Okay, so that's another thing to keep in mind here. But once again, look at this. We are continuously pushing higher while continuously going lower. Not a good sign. I told you on Monday, I like Goldman Sachs for a short, and this one is playing out right now. So here's Monday, and since Monday, it's only down $10. That's why we didn't play it, but it's currently playing out. It is going shorter, and if banks are losing, then probably the SPY is going to lose. What else do I have? Oh, Melly. I like Melly for a longer term short. Once again, we have an ascending wedge. Ascending wedges tend to break to the downside. And once again, as we keep pushing higher, we keep pushing lower on our momentum indicator. All right, so once again, I like this too because it looks like, if it does fall, we could drop anywhere from 80 to over 120 points. So that's why I like this for a short in the next couple weeks. MES, we already went over. MNQ, let's look at MNQ real quick. Here you can see this channel, and really now we're getting more into a wedge in this channel, right? So we were in a ascending channel, and now we're wedging here. You can see here we had a hidden bearish div, and then we had a regular bearish div. This one played out, it bounced. This one played out, it bounced, but we keep getting tighter here. But once again, it's not looking good here. I mean, you can, if we zoom in here on this indicator on the 1 hour, you can see on this little bounce already, we're already, and look, it looks like we're about to break it at open. I mean, I'm not sure it's going to actually happen, but it sure looks like we're losing it. Microsoft, let's go over Microsoft again. Look at that. I still like this for a short. Unfortunately, I'm not sure this week is going to play out. I'm still holding it. I'm hoping for a big dive on Friday. Might average down at the end of the day. But just to show you guys real quick too here, okay? So here's your height of your channel. And actually, let's just go over this real quick. So we had a wedge here, descending wedge, usually almost always breaks to the upside, and that's exactly what happened. Okay. If you want to look for targets, first target would be like recent moves, which is right here. Okay. So there's your first target. Look, that's exactly where it stopped at for the day. Next target would be your height of your channel here. Okay. And we put that up here. And that is exactly where it topped out at. Okay, so this hit target 2. So it's hit target 1 and 2. Your next target would be up your next big move right here, but I don't think it's going to get there. Like I said, we're getting price is staying pretty stagnant here, but we are massively losing momentum. What else? Netflix is bearish. I looked at that one already. Right. We keep pushing up. We keep pushing down. Like I said, everything here is looking bearish, guys. That's I don't think anybody should be long. Be careful, I guess, is what I'm saying going into Friday. Okay, don't be real heavy because you can't predict what's going to happen with this market. I mean, you can't predict like news is going to do to the market. I'd like to pen. This will probably be a cheap option. I'll probably grab this at open. Same thing, pushing up, but we're losing momentum. PayPal, same thing. Getting higher highs, lower highs. Roku, let's just have a big jump here, but and while this isn't technically a bearish dip because we get a slightly higher high here, I still don't think this is very strong. I mean, this is a big move up for not a lot of difference on the momentum indicator. If you see what I mean there. You can see here was a bearish div right here. We got a higher high with a lower high, right? And we push down, and then it got a big burst, and it looks like it's gonna come right back down, I think. Netflix, pen, Roku, Microsoft. Yep, that's all I got for you guys. If there's anything you want to see, shoot me a DM in chat. Otherwise, that's kind of what I'm looking at. So averaging out of my cat play, Melly put maybe a couple weeks out. Maybe a pen put for next week. And then I'm going to do something with Microsoft again still. So that's what I have. Getting pent up on the SPY like it is. You could try a straddle. I mean, we're getting pretty wedged here, which is expected because we're getting wedged on MES, right? But if this breaks, initial target would be, 400 on the downside. Would be, and right up to resistance on the top side of 425. Okay, so that's, either way, you're looking at like a 10-point move on either side. So I would think you'd be able to find a straddle. It might be a little, maybe at the end of the day. Going into, we'll have to see how the day plays out. I might post one at the end of the day. Don't want to do it too early because I think it's going to be a pretty volatile day and just back and forth burning premium. All right, guys. If you need me, holler at me. I'll be in chat. Good luck today.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting